Are we on? Oh, yes, we're on. Good morning, everyone. Oh, this is a lively crowd this morning. So, my name is Brenda Sensitz, and I'm doing the morning medication. Which meditation actually is, but not in the traditional sense. So I'd like to welcome you and all of our viewers who are viewing online to this morning's meditation at CSL St. Augustine. And the focus for my meditation this morning is joy. And this reading uses the word God a lot, and if God is a trigger for you, if that word is a trigger, substitute good or presence or spirit or whatever you want. But if I try to do that while I'm reading, that's not going to work out well. So here we go. God's joy blesses each day of my life. The aroma of my favorite foods from childhood brings a happy memory to mind. Hearing the voice of a dear one warms my heart. Looking upon a newborn's face for the first time evokes a feeling words can't even describe. While the giddy excitement of a child's joy may now be a memory, the joy I know today still delights me. Each day I embrace more completely the joy of knowing I am a living expression of God. God's life lives as me. God's wisdom is within me, my guide to a deepening understanding of myself and the world around me. The love I share with people who are dear to me is God's love, living in each heart and expressing as each of us. What greater joy could there be? So let's sit, comfortably in our chairs. Just get comfortable whichever way you want. And if it's available to you, close your eyes. I like to rub my forehead gently, just to, calm myself, and around my temples and cheeks, and my jaw. That feels so soothing to me. And the neck, if you want. And take a couple of deep breaths. And let's focus and meditate on joy. Quiet our mind and allow that feeling, the presence that's in the universe, that energy in the universe brings us joy. It flows through us. It's what joy is. And so let's just be open to it. Open our hearts, open ourselves to joy. And let's put a slight smile on our face and just feel joy. Remember to focus on your breath. And stay open to the joy of living in this universe as our physical being, the wonderful experiences we have, the love from others that we get. What a great joy. As we feel this joy, it's radiating out into the universe, spreading like ripples in water. We don't know how this joy is touching others, but as long as we feel it, it is working. It is doing something good. Good for us and good for those around us. Stay open to joy and breathe. Joy indeed is like a medication during this meditation. It makes my whole body feel wonderful and healed and blessed. And I want this feeling as often as I can get it. So I smile, a slight smile on my face, and continue to be open to joy. If you find your mind wandering, just return to breath. Breathe in. Breathe in the joy of the universe. Feel that joy. It is with great gratitude that I complete this meditation on joy, knowing that I have filled myself to the brim with that emotion, and I can release it out and allow my joy to reach other people around me. For that is how we make a joyful world. I'm grateful for this knowing. I'm grateful for the joy that this center brings to me. I'm grateful for each and every one of you who brings joy to me. And I release this meditation simply and easily by saying, and so it is. Thank you. Namaste.
My life flows on in endless song. Above earth's lamentation, I hear the real, though far off hymn that hails a new creation. Through all the tumult and the strife, I hear its music ringing. It sounds an echo in my soul. How can I keep from singing? While through the tempest loudly roars, I hear the truth it liveth, but through the darkness round me close, songs in the night it giveth. No storm can shake my inmost calm, while to that rock I'm clinging, since love is Lord of heaven and earth. How can I keep from singing? When tyrants tremble in their fear and hear their death knell ringing, when friends rejoice both far and near, how can I keep from singing? In prison cell and dungeon deep, our thoughts to them are winging. When friends by shame are filled to grief, how can I keep from singing? How can I keep from singing? There's a sacred tune dwells inside of me. I heard it in the mountains, I heard it by the sea. It calls us all together, the many and the one. We've been around forever and never goes unsung. It's the sum of all that's true, and all we've got to do is raise our voice and sing. It echoes through the canyon, it whispers in the trees, it fills my heart with gladness, it resonates in me. It's the sound of angels passing and zephyrs high above, an answer to my asking for just a little bit of love to help me make it through. And all I've got to do is raise my voice and sing. Hallelujah, Hare Ram, Waheguru, Satnam, Kyrie, okay. Namaste, amen. And this sacred tune, so clarion, so clear, resounds throughout the ages for everyone to hear. Hey, it doesn't need a venue, it doesn't need a band. Just open up and then you will come to understand. It's sacred yet it's new, and all we've got to do is raise our voice and sing. Hallelujah, Hare Ram, Waheguru, Satnam, Kyrie, okay, Namaste, amen. Hallelujah, Hare Ram, Waheguru, Satnam, Kyrie, okay, Namaste, amen. Yeah, there's a sacred tune that dwells inside of me. I heard it in the mountains, I heard it by the sea. It draws us all together, the many and the one. Been around forever, and it never goes unsung. It's the song of all that's true, and all we've got to do is raise our voice and sing. It's the sum of all that's true, and all we've got to do is raise our voice and sing. Alleluia, Hare Ram, Waheguru, Satnam, Kyrie, okay, Namaste, amen. Good morning. How are you? You ready? One more? All right. Una más. When it's not always raining, there'll be days like this. When there's no one complaining, there'll be days like this. When everything falls into place like the flick of a whip. Oh, my mama told me there'll be days like this. When you've got no cause to worry, there'll be days like this. When the world is in no hurry, there'll be days like this. when you don't get betrayed by that old Judas kiss. Oh, then you gotta remember there'll be days like this. When you don't need an answer, there'll be days like this. When you don't need a chancer, hey, there'll be days like this. When all the parts of the puzzle start to look like they fit, then you gotta be grateful that there's days like this. Ooh, that there's days like this. When no one steps on your dreams, there'll be days like this. When people understand what you mean, no, there'll be days like this. When you ring out the changes of how everything is, oh, you must remember there are days like this. Oh, we gotta always remember there'll be days like this. When we gather in our union, there'll be days like this. When we sing a common tune, hey, there'll be days like this. When sharing hope and love is just the way that we live, oh, we must be grateful that there's days like this. Ooh, we must be grateful that there's days like this. When it's not always raining, there'll be days like this. Ooh, we must remember there'll be days like this. And it's a good day.
Thank you so much. Isn't it great? Center for Okay. Well, that woke everybody up. Welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living of St. Augustine. My name is Reverend Ken Wilcox, and you're most welcome to be here this morning. If you're joining us online, we're very grateful you're doing that as well. But gosh, you can't feel the energy of this place online, I'll tell you that for sure. Because this is a wonderful and great place to be with healing, blessing, encouragement, and inspiration. And to make all that wonderful stuff happen, I always ask you to do one simple thing each Sunday morning, and that is to leave all your troubles, your would-haves, your could-haves, your should-haves, leave all that stuff outside, and for the next 45 minutes or so to open up an avenue of spirit possibilities. And what are spirit possibilities? Well, they're for more love, more joy, more healing, more blessings, more fun, more laughter, more music, more great food, all those things in life that make us feel alive, because that's what Spirit is doing through you and through me, showing up in the physical, recognizing itself through our love, joy, and laughter. So know you're in a great place this morning, and Spirit is going to recognize and reward you abundantly. Well, just a couple of announcements before we get going. We still have our jewelry sale going on, our jewelry sale and collection, I add. If you have some old jewelry at home that's maybe missing an earring or a cuff link, bring it to us and we can get it on the gold market and be a nice fundraiser for us. If you have some costume jewelry or something you'd like to pass along, we're also going to have a sale. So we're collecting jewelry till the 1st of October, and be sure to bring that in. That'd be really wonderful. We have hospitality for the next 2 Sundays. Our wonderful Linda Simpson is going to be headed up to Atlanta, and so we'll need some extra help with hospitality. So if you've got a special dish you'd like to bring in to share with us, it'll be a wonderful thing. We want to make sure that she feels the love and support for our hospitality as she goes have an adventure in Atlanta. We're still doing our Judy James collection. You know, we have $10,000. If we raise $10,000, we have a group of supporters who will match us in that $10,000. As of this morning, we're up to $8,586.33. We're very grateful for the 33 cents. So we're collecting till the end of October, so be sure to bring in your extra donations and make sure you put on it Judy James so we can get that matching donation. Well, those are all my announcements this morning. So, Don, would you like to come up and sing us a song?
Good morning. Again. It's nice to be here. I was very pleased to be invited back. It's a good way to start my Sundays here. Well, that's a good thing. This actually was something I wrote since being here, and I believe that being here with you kind of brought this on. And I'm not sure how to explain this other than the fact that, I write a number of pieces that fit this room and this environment. And I don't play rooms like this very often, so. And I really believe that the experience that I had the other week brought this about. Is that in tune? Bring the light, bring the light, let it shine on me. Bring the light, bring the light, let it shine on me. When it's too dark, gone on too long, things look too stark, things feel too wrong. Turn it over, let it go, bro. Take a knee and bring the light, bring the light. Let it shine on me. Bring the light, bring the light. Let it shine on me. Circumstances may befall you. There'll be chances, great and small, to write your story. It's not over. Wait and see. And bring the light, bring the light. Let it shine on me. Bring the light, bring the light. Let it shine on me. It doesn't matter where you're standing, if you just reach out your hand, then things get better. If we give, sure we'll receive. And bring the light, bring the light. Let it shine on me. Bring the light, bring the light, bring the light, bring the light. Let it shine on me. That's what I was looking to hear. Bring the light, oh, bring the light. Let it shine on Thank you for singing there.
Very excellent. Bring the light, let it shine on me. Yeah, that's what we're wanting to do here. And to help that, we were going to have Brenda Census, who's always amazed at the number of times I can mispronounce her last name, to come up and give us a reading and treatment. Come on up, Brenda. Okay.
Am I on? Yeah. So, let me stop laughing. No, don't let me stop laughing. It was fun. So, my treatment this morning regards world peace. And this past Wednesday, September 21st, was World Peace Day. Anybody familiar with that? No? Okay. Well, it happens annually. So mark your calendars for next September 21st. And at noontime, think about peace. It was established to remind us of the UN's commitment to peace and a conflict-free world. And this day encourages us to work together toward a more peaceful world. And Lord knows we need that. So my reading is, Peace in my heart is my gift to the world. Today, excuse me, I envision a peaceful world. A peaceful world. I imagine harmony and cooperation, inspiring the minds and hearts of all people. Like a lake that has been disturbed momentarily by movement, I see fear and anger dissipating, ripples fading into the distance as the surface of the water becomes still. Calm engenders calm, and peace grows. Compassion fills every heart. I begin this important work by searching within myself for simmering resentments, judgments, and unkindness. With compassion, I forgive myself, softening the hardened parts of my heart. From this place, I need not wish for peace because I bring peace. As each heart softens and opens to include all others, peace will blanket the earth. So, let's close our eyes and take a deep breath. And know with me that as I say this in the first person, you can keep it for yourself as well. I know that there's one presence. It's the presence of the universe, the thing we feel around us all the time. It's divine intelligence. And I'm one with it. And it's one with me. It's here with me all the time. And when I'm open to it, I feel it. When I'm closed to it, I just go about my day as though nothing is going on. And so I wish to stay open to this presence as much as I can, as often as I can. And that presence will soften the hard parts of my heart, the parts that are not kind, the parts that aren't compassionate, and build up the parts that are kind and the parts that are compassionate and the parts that are peaceful, so that I can radiate peace out into the world. So that we can all live as one human family with peace and grace and love. And I'm grateful for this knowing. And I release it into the mind knowing that it is done. It reflects back even greater than I can imagine, simply and easily by saying, and so it is.
Thank you, Brenda. So my talk title this morning is Patterns of Life, Patterns of Life. In class this week, we had class on Thursday. Our reading was of how meditation can be just simply recognizing beauty. And that when we recognize beauties in our life, that it can be a source of inspiration, allowing us to transcend the chaos of life around us. And it's about recognizing spiritual energies in our life. You know, I think spiritual energy and spiritual patterns are like spider webs. You don't notice them until you walk into them. Or if a dew comes along and you can all of a sudden see them, what was invisible to you, you now see as this big, huge pattern of life and a pattern of intelligence. And I think that's what Spirit is trying to show all around us, is that there are these currents of energies that are showing up in our lives as love and compassion, as beauty and as kindness, available to us and can empower us when we look for them. And that really is the whole theme of the movie and the book, Dr. Zhivago. You know, Dr. Zhivago, he goes through a huge life crisis. His world is turned up on its end. But the whole way through, he looks for things of beauty. And a lot of time it's the Russian winter that really calls to the Russian soul. And even though his life is in chaos, he'll look to this beauty, and it will inspire him and encourage him to transcend his suffering. And this pattern can awake us up to a greater strength that we have, something that's been hidden but revealed to us. And when we open ourselves up to this guidance, we can see that there's more going on than just what is going on in our lives. And it can help us move through. We can have a closer walk. There was a spiritual song they used to sing when I was a kid at the Church of God on Napier Avenue in Macon, Georgia. Let me have a closer walk with thee. And it was like, grant me this privilege. And it was really in a way of like, begging God to come closer to me. But that's a fallacy, because Spirit is already closer to us than our next breath. We're the ones that have to wake up to it and to allow it to empower us to become more of our real selves. We're the ones that move towards Spirit. Spirit is already close to us. When we consciously choose to transcend the sorrows of the world and channel beauty into this dense vibration, we recognize that we've got a partner with us on this journey. We're not here by accident. We're here by divine calling, a symphony of the Spirit that transcends time and space, and that we have a partner with us on this walk of life, a guide and intelligence that believes and supports us, that is here for us, that knows that we have something wonderful to bring about in life. You have something wonderful to bring about. Only you can do it, and Spirit is counting on you. And it's willing to show up for us as power, as inspiration, as courage when we recognize it as such. And sometimes these channels show up as meaning and purpose. Sometimes they're just here to just remind us that there is this pattern of life. It's just a reminder. That happened to me this week. I had an energy of Catholicism running in my life. I did a video this past week on miracle at a grave site, and it was about when my cousin in the 90s, he died from AIDS in Macon, Georgia. Not a great place to be dying of AIDS, I would tell you at that time. And he had decided in his last year that he was Catholic. He really wasn't. He never had bothered to join the Catholic Church. And he wanted his funeral to be at the big, huge, beautiful Catholic Church in Macon. If you're ever in Macon, Georgia, go see the Catholic Church. It's spectacular. And so he couldn't have a service there because he wasn't Catholic. But his mom had reached out to the Catholic priest and asked him, would you do the service? And he agreed to come and do a graveside service for Duffy. And when I was going to the funeral, I was really worried because I just really didn't know what kind of service this priest was going to give. And we got there, and this man stood up and gave one of the most loving and compassionate talks you could ever imagine. He really broke through Catholicism. He was really almost speaking in terms of Buddhism about the love of God and how Duffy was transcending to the love of God. A lot of his stuff I still use when I'm asked to speak at a service. So we never know the support we're getting. So for inspiration this week, I kind of look around for different places, and I thought I would listen to a woman who really inspires me greatly. I've listened to her for years and years now. Her name is Maura Fox, Dr. Maura Fox. She's at Redondo Beach, California. She's got a beautiful church out in Redondo Beach. And I've listened to her for years and years now. She's an ex-Catholic nun, Irish nun. So she's got that wonderful accent going on. She's a brilliant speaker. I've never met her before, but she really inspires me. I was one time at a conference with her, and I was in line a couple of places behind her at a Starbucks, and she accidentally hit this big, huge container of chocolate like mothballs, or not mothballs, malt balls. Yeah, that'd be something to sell. And so she hit this container, and just surprisingly, she must have just hit it at the right point. It just shattered. And all of a sudden, glass went out of her. All these chocolate balls went everywhere. She was mortified, and so she couldn't apologize enough. At first, she was going to try to help clean up. Then she realized it was, glass everywhere, and that they really needed her to get out of the way. And that's exactly what she did. She apologized and she got out of the way. And it really struck me how she had gone through the process and how she had ended up in the right place. So I really like her a great deal, and I was listening to her this past week, and she was talking about a saint, Catholic saint, that particularly inspires her, and that's Saint Teresa. And in the Catholic nun mode that she was talking as if everybody should know who Saint Teresa is. I do not. So I decided, well, I better look her up, so this is somebody important, and she is. She was a Carmelite nun in around 1500 in Spain, and she had a profound impact on our spiritual history. Here, this woman, and that long ago, had such a profound impact. And her impact is that we can all connect to spirit. We can all connect to spirit. And she suggested we do it through prayer, silence, and contemplation. Prayer, silence, and contemplation. 3 great suggestions. To be prayerful, to have a little bit of silence in our lives. I can only imagine if she came to modern life, what she would think about our lives now with all our noise we have constantly around us. I'm told silence is like water, that if you drink water for 7 days, that all you'll want is water. If you'll bring more silence into your life, you'll want more and more silence. And at first can be just as easy as not turning on the television first thing in the morning, not turning on your radio when you get into the car, listening to the birds when you go outside. It's a strange thing for me when I go outside. At first, I don't hear any of the birds, but if I listen to one, I'll hear a second. And if I hear the second, soon I will hear a symphony of birds singing, and will realize the trees are full of birds singing. They were there the whole time. It just took me to have enough patience to listen to them, to listen to the song of the universe. And so that's what we're doing, and that's what she taught. And she taught that we're all available to this, and that silent contemplation is very important. Bringing silence into your life can allow you to directly commune with God itself, allowing our souls to shed their earthly tendencies, to become fully absorbed in the divine, merging with the source of all life. And we're called to do this. We're called to express the divine in our unique ways. Spirit needs you to be exactly who you are. Nobody else, even with all your little weird cooks and nannies of your personality, that's what Spirit's going to use to bring forth the divine healing that you want to have, that the world needs you to have and the world needs you to experience. And you don't have to run off to an ashram. You don't have to become a 10th level vegan. You can just allow the greater part of your life to flow through. It means to be open yourself up to the beauty and goodness around you, and then consider, how can I expand this? How can I be the source of this good? In the midst of all the confusion of modern life, how can I make my life into a healing balm, to allow the divine to show up in me, through me, and for me, to become channels of Spirit's energy right where we are? That we plus Spirit equals something greater than just ourselves, than just I alone could create. Last Thursday, I had received some sad news that a dear, lovely person who used to attend here, although she stopped coming many years ago before COVID, her name was Marlene Shepard, she had made her transition, or as another minister says, transcension. I like that too. And she had served on the board for a long time, but she had dropped out of the community. I had reached out to her, and she had said she was on her own spiritual path, so I just blessed her, and even though I missed her coming. So last week, a friend called and said she had made her transition, and they wanted me to come and speak at the funeral, and I was happy to do so. They had told me that a Catholic priest, see the Catholic thing running through my week, a Catholic priest was going to be the lead person. So I just realized that I probably would just get up and say just something very brief about her, since I wasn't going to be the main person. I had a poem in mind that I wanted to read for her that I thought would really be perfect. Now, Monday, I wasn't feeling so well. I was really kind of wiped out. Tuesday, I was feeling even worse. The funeral was going to be at Wednesday at noon. So Tuesday, I wasn't feeling any better, was not really feeling well enough to prepare for the service. I even was worried I had COVID, so I did a COVID test Tuesday night. Wednesday, I woke up and I had shoved all of everything to Wednesday morning. So I had a meeting at 9:30, another one at 10:30. I was to meet the Catholic priest at 11:30 at the funeral home for the service, and I hadn't prepared anything. I haven't even ironed my shirt to wear to the funeral. So I go to my meetings. I got 1 hour to get this stuff ready. I had this poem I wanted to read for her. It was a lovely poem. The poem is entitled, "A Little Butterfly Flew By Me One Day." Oh, it's just wonderful. I've used it hundreds of times. I was certain that all I had to do was get on the internet and punch in "a little butterfly flew by me," and it would show up. Nothing. Thousands of sites how to buy butterflies, frozen to release at weddings. Thousands of people who've come up with these little poems that they write on coffee cups that they want to sell you. But I could not find this poem. So I would go and brush my teeth and shave, and I'd come back and look more. Couldn't find it. I went and ironed my shirt, looked for it some more, couldn't find it. Finally, I dug out from the bottom of my closet the painful funeral shoes that I wear when people, expect me to dress up. Had those on, and I thought, I'm going to look one more time. I'm going to look. Found it. I changed search engines. There's a little message there somewhere. I changed the search engine. I found it. And so I thought, well, I'm going to run to the center, print it out real quick, and I'll be in fine shape. I'll be at the funeral home. I get to the center, I print it out. As I print it out, I thought to myself, well, I'm just going to write a couple of things on the back of the poem about, if I do need to share some thoughts about Marlene. As I said, she was a very quiet, very soft-spoken person. She joined our board. She served for 3 years on our board. You may not know this, but typically, and particularly our board, we don't attract soft and softly speaking people. Foghorn, Clayhorn would fit right in actually with us. So it took a lot of, I would have to give her special attention and shut them all up to pay attention to Marlene. But she was a lovely, lovely source, and she gave some really positive, good things and good suggestions that we did while she was there. So I wrote a couple of those down, and I thought to myself, well, if nothing else, I'll talk about these things that she did while we were on the board, while she was on the board. So I show up at the funeral service. The priest was late getting there. He finally comes. He's this 83-year-old guy, Irish. There was also something about Irish Catholics that was running through my week. Lovely, lovely man. Oh, he was lovely. Didn't know Marlene from Adam. Had never met her, knew nothing about her. I mean, he was saying, I don't know anything about this little lady, and he was asking us for information. And so I thought to myself, well, Casey Jones, you're up to bat. You know, it's up to you now. Now, Marlene's friend did do a wonderful, she talked about Marlene very, very beautifully and wonderfully. And then I got up to speak about her. And I spoke about how her quiet and gentle ways were really like represented Christ consciousness. You know, Christ consciousness came into the world, not in, this blowhard manner, but soft and gentle with compassion and love. And he changed the world. And this is what she did. And I talked about the different programs that we had been involved with while she was on the board. At one time, she helped us collect thermoses that we distributed to the farm workers migrant workers out in the field so they could have cool water to drink during the day. I talked about the Venus Manley Scholarship Program, of how she had helped us set that up. And that I gave two examples. One was a young man this year who had been born deaf, and he was headed off to college so he could become he was studying political science, and he wanted to become a lobbyist, God forbid, but a lobbyist to make the insurance companies pay for hearing aids, because they don't pay for hearing aids. And if you have a child that's deaf, you have to buy several of them till they're adult. And that's $5,000 a system, so it's very expensive. And then I talked about a young lady who had graduated from the Florida School of the Blind and Deaf, and of how that they make them learn how to get to that school on their own. And that means crossing traffic. And that at a certain point when you cross traffic, that you take in all the information you can, but at some point you just have to step out in faith and just hope there's not a car there. That's what you have to do. You have to step out in faith. And I said that that's exactly what Marlene did, that she stepped out into faith in her quiet and soft ways to make the world better. And then I read the butterfly poem. And I would like to take credit for what happened next, but it wasn't me, because all of a sudden, out of this mouth that does come a lot of nonsense, out of this mouth came this wonderful talk about this beautiful woman, of how soft and gentle she was, and how she went out and changed the world, and how she's a wonderful example for all of us. I had them all in tears. It wasn't bad tears. It was a healing tears. It was just wonderful. I was really emotional myself. And it wasn't me. I hadn't done it. Spirit wanted these people to know something about Marlene. Spirit wanted her to be represented. The Spirit wanted her struggles, her successes, her challenges talked about. And through me, Spirit spoke up. And we can do this when we step up. This is the goal of life, is to know that you've got this power of goodness flowing through you, and you can do remarkable and amazing things. Now, here's the thing about all of this. I told you I hadn't really felt very good the Monday and Tuesday. I didn't even feel very good on Wednesday. But when I left that service, I was feeling great. I was feeling powerful, healed, and blessed. When we allow the energy of God to transform our lives, to flow into our lives, the little things that we pick up through the world, our ego, our doubts, our fears, all of that stuff cannot hide with the illumination of God. And that's what we're here to experience. We're here to know, to have this closer walk with Spirit. And now's the time. We don't have to wait till we get all saintly. Just as we are, in the midst of all this chaos and distraction, we can arise above and choose to have paths of transformation, of healing. And spiritual healing is achieved when we link our hearts and our souls and our consciousness and move out into the world and say, we're going to make this a better place. This is going to be better since I have been here. And we can do it. It goes beyond reason and mood and emotion. It connects us to a consciousness of the one source, to invite the divine into our life, to give ourselves over to its guidance. Healing and transformation require us to go beyond the mind, go beyond reason and logic, and to enter the cosmic awareness, illumination, and pure consciousness, to open ourselves up to this divine presence, to know that we are worthy. You are worthy of a wonderful life, full of joy and love and amazement and wonder, that our prayers are vessels of illumination and grace. That which you pray for, that which you dream for, that is God's illumination and grace within you. And there's a way for us to experience that good right where we are. When we recognize our wholeness, when we feel it, declare it, and move out into the world with conviction that we are empowered, that greatness is within us, waiting to be realized. Saint Teresa said, let nothing disturb you. Let nothing frighten you. All things are passing, but the love of God sustains. This morning, I want you to leave this place knowing that the love of God sustains you in everything you're seeking to do, from your love, your joy, your healing, your compassion. The love of God sustains, and you are well supported. You are here to do amazing and good work. You are here to be awed with how much love God loves you. This is the truth in your life today. It's the truth in mine, and so it is. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Well, I'm going to try to follow that example. I really am. And we'll see how this works. I haven't done this in a long time, but just thank you. You gotta move. You gotta move. You've gotta move. You've gotta move. 'Cause when the Spirit says ready, you gotta move. You may be right, you may be wrong, you may be weak, and you may be strong. But when the Spirit says ready, you gotta move. You've 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 gotta move. Because when the Spirit says ready, you gotta move. You may have words, you may have songs, you may think you don't belong, but when the Spirit says ready, you've got to move. You listen up, you sit right here, you fill your heart, you fill your ears. Man, when the Spirit, it tells you to get ready, you got to move. What can be said when you feel ready? You gotta move. I sitting here and sing this song. Somehow I know it isn't wrong, 'cause that the Spirit said, hey man, get ready, get up and move. I did my best, sang my truth. I may have lost my elder youth, but here I am. Good God, I'm ready. I gotta move. One time I gotta move. Ooh, you gotta move. You've gotta move. Oh, believe me, gotta move. You've gotta move. And when we all are ready, we've gotta move. As the Spirit tells us, we've gotta move.
Thank you, Tom. Thank you, buddy. Oh, indeed. It is time for us to move on. Yeah, you know, it's been a tough couple of years if you haven't realized it or not. But, you know, this place is doing really well. You know, there are many centers. In fact, a good number of them are closing down. We're just getting started. We're not going anywhere. And yeah. And you've made it possible, and I'm very grateful for your support. And that's what we're talking about now, how we can support our center. We can do it in several ways, through volunteership, through consciousness, praying to see the center doing well, also through donations. However you choose to support our center, know we're grateful for it. And if you will take your intention and place it over your heart and read with me this affirmation of prosperity. I live in a universe of abundance. As I freely and joyfully give, I join in the divine flow, and all that I share with life returns to me multiplied abundantly. If the ushers will step forward, we'll thank you in advance for your contribution. Don, I know you got another great song for us.
Stepping on my own cord here. It's an appropriate comment. Don't worry about that. Well, I don't know. There's a big concert in town last night. Huge, well, all weekend long. Put on those outdoor events, and you always have to worry about if the weather is going to accommodate you or not. Oh, there was not. Well, they tell me of a land far beyond the skies. They tell me of a land far away. Oh, they tell me of a home where no storm clouds fly. Oh, they tell me of an uncloudy day. Oh, the land of a cloudless day. Oh, the land of an uncloudy sky. Hey, they tell me a home where no storm clouds rise. Oh, they tell me of an uncloudy day. Hey, they tell me of a home where my friends have gone. Tell me of a home far away, where the tree of life in eternal bloom spreads its fragrance on an uncloudy day. Oh, the land of a cloudless day. Oh, the land of an uncloudy sky. Hey, they tell me of a home where no storm clouds fly. Oh, they tell me of an uncloudy day. Oh, they tell me of the King in his heaven there. They tell me that my eyes shall behold, where he sits on a throne that is whiter than snow, in that city that is made of gold. And they tell me that he smiles on his children there. His smile drives their troubles away. And they tell me that no tears will ever come again. Oh, they tell me of an uncloudy day. And it's, oh, the land of an uncloudless day. Oh, the land of an uncloudy sky. Hey, they tell me of a home where no storm clouds rise. Oh, they tell me of an uncloudy day. And they tell me of a home where no storm clouds arise. Oh, they tell me of an uncloudy day.
Ah, nice, nice. Thank you, Don. Thank you, Sarah. And thank you for your support. Your support is allowing the center to grow and to thrive, to continue to be a beacon of hope and healing and inspiration. So we're doing our part, and you're stepping up, and we're showing for the world how life can be joyful and loving, kind and compassionate. So we thank you, we bless it, we release it, knowing it does its good and powerful work, returning to us multiplied abundantly. And together we say, and so it is. All right, so we'll end the service with an affirmative prayer. I'm going to do it in the first person, but take it in for yourself. If I say something that works for you, hold tight to that. If I say something that doesn't work for you, just let that part slide by. But just know this truth with me this morning. There is but one God and one mind and one power, and that power is perfect love. It's divine intelligence. And that power created me from itself plus nothing else. And that power has been amazed and at awe of me, showing up in the physical, ready to love, ready to spread joy and compassion and kindness. I have this wonderful friend that is with me, guiding me, encouraging me, and inspiring me, showing me the wonderful patterns of life that I can draw support from. I am not alone on this journey. I am here with a friend, a guide helping me, encouraging me to lift my eyes up, to see beyond the storm clouds that are around me, to envision that bright and sunny, cloudless day that I've been called to live and to breathe and to have. This morning, as I leave this place, I am inspired. I am encouraged. This morning, I leave here knowing that there's a goodness flowing through me, calling me forth, urging me on, and I am not turning back. I have seen the new day. I have seen the promised land, and I'm moving forward. As Pharaoh's army has get out of my way, because there is a joyful and wonderful and glorious new day that I am to move for. Spirit is calling me on, and I am answering the call. This is my truth. Every cell of my being radiates this right knowing, and I release this prayer into the mind of God to do its good and perfect, bold and dynamic work, returning to me multiplied abundantly. And together we say, and so it is. All right, my friends, I'm going to leave you with one last idea. That is your life. Your life, it's not a problem to be solved. It's a miracle unfolding. Your job this week is to go name your miracle, proclaim your miracle, and make it your own. God bless us all. Now let us go be the miracle Spirit is calling us to be. Until we see each other again, this is Reverend Ken wishing you many blessings.
We're going to repeat one from the last time I was here because I love doing it with you.
Good.
Think of your fellow man, lend him a helping hand, put a little love in your heart. You see it's getting late, oh please don't hesitate, put a little love in your heart, and the world will be a better place. Yeah, the world will be a better place for you and me. You just wait and see. Oh, put a little love in your heart. Yeah, put a little love in your heart. Ooh, you gotta put a little love in your heart. Another day go by, and still the children cry. Put a little love in your heart. If you want the world to know we won't let hatred grow, put a little love in your heart, and the world will be a better place. Yeah, the world will be a better place for you and me. You just wait and see. Come on, put a little love in your heart. Oh, now put a little love in your heart. You've got to put a little love in your heart. Oh, take a good look around. If you are looking down, put a little love in your heart. I hope you will decide kindness will be your guide. Put a little love in your heart, and the world will be a better place. Yeah, the world will be a better place for you and me. You just wait and see. Oh, put a little love in your heart. Come on, you gotta put a little love in your heart. Oh, you gotta put a little love in your heart. Give me a little love. I'll give it back. You gotta put a little love in your heart. Oh, we gotta put a